know. Pick some winners and then we say let's go.
We are live. Here we are on Betting Weekly Hardball, part of the Betting Weekly studios, under the Bet Rivers umbrella. I'm Adam the Bull. He's professional handicapper Chris Macero. And we got a lot to get to. It's a Friday, and what does that mean? It means a full slate of baseball games. Yes, football is starting to take over, but it doesn't mean you can't win money betting baseball games, right, Chris?
So we got 15 games. We got a game about to have first pitch in about 20 minutes. Your beloved Cubs at Wrigley, the special Friday afternoon that we all enjoy. So, it's exciting. The Red Sox, Yankees tonight, Giants, Dodgers. There's a lot of good rivalry matchups. So exciting day of baseball. Let's have some winners.
And down the stretch we come, right? I mean, you got most teams got 16, 17, 18 games left. Actually, it can't be 18 because there's only 17 days left in the season. But there's, a couple of weeks ago, I remember we both thought, maybe all these playoff races are over, but there's still a lot up for grabs. The Astros have fallen into a tie with the Mariners atop the AL West. We'll get to that later. Rangers back of both of them for the last wild card and the division title. Guardians still kind of in the mix. And then in the National League, the Giants and the Reds, both a game and a half back with the Diamondbacks 3 back of a Mets team that is just playing absolutely awful baseball. So we're going to get into it. Lots still to play for. What are the motivation of the bad teams along the way? We shall find out. And let's start with the game you mentioned. In about less than 20 minutes, the only time you ever have a day game on a Friday, unless there's a doubleheader, is the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and that's what's happening today. The Rays and Cubs, 2:20 Eastern. Shane Baz on the hill for Tampa. Matthew Boyd will go for the Cubs. He's been a little up and down lately after a great start. However, the one thing with Matthew Boyd that really stands out to me, Chris, if you look at his splits, I mean, he's been good on the road too, but at home, he has been absolutely lights out. In 79 innings, he is 10-1 with a 2.16 ERA, 13 starts. He's only given up 19 runs in 13 starts and only 71 base runners with 75 Ks in 79 and a third innings at Wrigley Field. Throw in that he's better during the daytime. This would lead me to believe it's either the Cubs or pass on this one. But I know you were a little skeptical based on the number.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like the right line. I feel like the Cubs should have been a bigger price here, so I was a little skeptical. There's some conflicting stats. Your points are well taken that he's pitched really well at home. He pitched good against the Nationals, but that's the Nationals last time up. But the previous three starts, 16 and 2/3, 18 hits, 13 earned runs, an ERA over 7. So, some conflicting stats. Cubs haven't been hitting the ball that well.
Nope.
The weather isn't going to be an impact today at Wrigley like he usually is on these day games. And then if you look at Baz, who hasn't been great all year, but his last 11 innings pitched, only 2 earned runs and a whopping 14 strikeouts. I don't have a play in this game. Maybe you look for a first 5 under, as both pitchers have been, in their element. Like you mentioned, Boyd so good at home, and Baz has been hard of late. Maybe you get a first 5 under that sneaks in. I don't have a play on the game. Nothing that really sticks out to me, except that I thought the number should have been higher. That's why it gave me pause to take the Cubs.
Would you consider the under for the game, or just really on the first 5?
Yeah, I don't really trust the Rays bullpen too much. I've seen it blow up in the past. I would go for the first 5 if I was going to play it. Like I said, I don't have a play on the game. Just a lean if you want to get involved in something during the day, or in the morning. In my case, you might want to look to a first 5 under.
All right, so that's the one day game. Again, as the show goes on, we'll keep you up to date when that game gets underway. But let's get to some of the marquee matchups on the docket, including a couple of huge rivalries and a veteran pitcher going back to face his old team. We start with the Yankees and Red Sox, one of the biggest rivalries in all of sports. The Red Sox took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees in their last series in the Bronx, and now the Yankees looking for revenge on the road. Luis Gil, Lucas Giolito. It's a 7:10 Eastern start. You got a play in this one?
I don't have a play in the game. I'm conflicted again. It's one of those games where the Red Sox had the day off. They came back from Sacramento, off game, played great at home, 44-28. Yankees, all the emotion of yesterday, 9/11, Trump in the clubhouse, A lot of guys, celebrating the big win. And I was talking to you before the show started. It's this feast or famine with this Yankee team. They're either blowing teams out or they're getting blown out. Weird series versus Detroit. Couple of blowouts early. The Yankees come back yesterday with the big win to salvage a little bit of the series. I don't really trust Heel either. He's only a few starts, 35 innings all year. Terrible on the road so far, 5.14 ERA. Giolito, I kind of want to trust him, but sometimes he seems to get bothered easy. Little things seem to bother him. If he doesn't get an umpire call or the mound's a little off, he kind of like loses concentration. But besides that, he's been solid. Good year, 10-3, 3.38. I just don't know where the emotions of the Yankee situation from yesterday, no off day coming up to Boston, and the Red Sox, to your point, have owned the Yankees this year. Even over the last couple of years, the Red Sox just for some reason have owned the Yankees. So I don't have a play in the game. I'm obviously rooting for the Red Sox, holding out a little bit of hope they can make one last push for the division. Both of these teams seem comfortably in the wild card situation. The American League wild card coming down to all of a sudden Houston's in the mix now in the wild card because Seattle's tied up the division. Texas is 2 back. So 3 teams for 2 spots, all in the American League West. So no play in the game right now. Just going to root for the Red Sox.
By the way, the last time the Red Sox lost a home game that Giolito was pitching was May 24th, which is crazy. Since May 24th, he's made 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starts at home. For whatever reason, he's pitched more on the road. And the Red Sox have all won all 7 games he's pitched at home since May 24th. So I don't know if that's worth anything, but just an odd stat that I saw that I wanted to share. All right. And sometimes when a game involves your favorite team, I've talked about this before, sometimes you try to – I often stay away from any game. Not always, but often I'll stay away from a game involving my team because I feel like maybe there's a little bias creeping in based on what I want to happen versus what my brain's telling me is going to happen. Could always be a possibility.
In this situation, that is a good stat. And, if I didn't need the Red Sox to win, I don't need them to win. They're pretty much comfortably in the playoffs. I'd like them to win. They own the tiebreaker versus the Yankees. But, this would have to be Red Sox or pass for me. They're dominant team at home. Giolito with those stats, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
The Red Sox lineup, it's a lot of working parts since Anthony got hurt. But, to be an underdog at home versus a team they've dominated all year when they're the dominant home team, it has to be Red Sox or pass. Big pitching advantage, plus all the emotion that the Yankees had coming off the 9-11 game. No days off to come up to Boston. It would definitely be Red Sox or pass, but at the moment, I don't have a play on the game.
Rangers and Mets, the other New York team. Mets are just playing awful baseball. They've lost 6 in a row. They actually had a big lead yesterday, blew it, got swept in the 4-game series. It's funny. We were on together Monday, and I think I said, hey, if the Mets sweep this series, you never know. They can get back in the division. And you said, well, what if the Phillies sweep? And that's exactly what happened. The Phillies swept the series. The Mets have just been awful. They're only a game and a half up on the Giants and the Reds. We'll see. I ultimately don't think the Giants and Reds are good enough, but, man, I'd love to see somebody come and pick off the Mets because they don't feel like a playoff team at all right now.
Yeah, I was on the Phillies all 4 games in this series. They just own the Mets, and it seems like whoever plays the home game in the Mets-Phillies series seems to get the win. And the one silver lining for the Mets is that they are home tonight, 45-27 at home, but they're going up against their old former ace, DeGrom, who's coming in, got to be fired up to be back at Citi Field, 11-7, 2.78 for the year, 5-2, 3.22 on the road. He has a decent sample size against the Mets hitters, 216. They're 8 for 37 against him. Tough to back Tong. Only 2 starts. He had 1 good one, 1 bad one. Overall, 1-1 with a 4.09 ERA. Only 11 innings pitched and 5 earned runs. It's just a tough game to get involved in, just because the fact that the Texas Rangers are so hot, the Mets are ice cold, but the home and road splits for these 2 teams are the big difference. Texas is only 30-42 on the road. Mets 45-27 at home. tough to get in front of a team that's won 4 in a row or to back a team that's lost 6 in a row. So I'm just going to steer clear. I have no play on the game.
Yeah, to me, it would be Rangers or pass because of the DeGrom situation, how bad the Mets are playing, how well the Rangers are playing. But as you said, the Mets are really good at home. As good as DeGrom is, he doesn't go deep into games. I mean, he usually goes between 5 and 6 innings at the most. I don't even think he's gone 6 innings in a while. So, yeah, I think a stay away in that situation is probably the right call. All right, the other big rivalry series that starts this weekend, the Dodgers and the Giants. A lot to play for here. Dodgers have a 2.5-game lead over the Padres in the NL West. The Giants, as I mentioned, 1.5 behind the Mets for the wild card. Yamamoto against Verlander is fun. Dodgers had been playing terrible baseball. They just swept the Rockies, took advantage of them. But outside of the Rockies, they have not done much. 10:15 Eastern start. What do you make of this one?
This is a game that if I'm having a winning night or a winning day today, I might jump in on the Giants. You have Yamamoto. He's coming off the game where he had the almost no-hitter, 112 pitches. Only one other time this year he threw that many. Albeit the next start, he pitched pretty good, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He did get the win. That was back on May 20th. The next start was May 26th. So he's done it before, but most of his starts are like in the 80 to 90 pitch range. So maybe, taxing on him late in the season. He's had a great year, 11-8, 2.72 ERA, on the road 8-4, 2.33. Opponents batting 220, 11 for 50 sample. Now, you probably say I'm crazy because Verlander, horrible year, 3-10, 4.09. But if you look, the last 3 starts, Verlander all of a sudden has found it. 17 innings pitched, only 2 earned runs, a tune of 1.05 ERA. So I kind of would like to lean to the Giants here. I haven't made the play yet. You got to remember, the Dodgers are 4 games under 500 on the road. They're just not a good road team. They've been pretty much 500 since July 4th. They just picked off the Rockies. Big deal. The Rockies have 17 road wins all season. I just tend to feel like this is a good spot for the Giants at a decent price off Yamamoto, pitching the 112 pitches, almost getting a no-hitter. So I don't have a play on it yet. It's going to be dependent upon how I do during the day or tonight. Maybe a late night game. It's the last game on the board, 7:15 Pacific time. Definitely lean towards the Giants. It's 37-35 at home this year. Been playing really good baseball of late. 6 wins in September. We're clinging to some hope for that. Most wins in September. So lean to the Giants, but no play as of right now.
I'll even expand further on your Verlander point. 7 out of his last 9 starts, he's given up 2 runs or less. So he's had 2 bad starts in the mix there in August. But for overall, we're talking like 6 weeks where he's pitched well for the most part. At his age, you're going to have a clunker or 2, and maybe it happens tonight, but Justin Verlander has a nose for the postseason. He has a nose for big games. This is a huge game for the Giants. I mean, if they're going to make the playoffs, if they're going to pass the Mets and Cincinnati, who they're tied with for that final wild card spot, they got to win, 80%, 75% at least of their games. Verlander, even at this age, clearly can still pitch, and he lives for these big moments. I think he gives them a great game. It might only be 5, maybe 6. But he's going to give them a chance. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I feel good about it. And I would lean towards the Giants in this game. The unbeatable Dodgers have been anything but. Still a good team, but they are far, far from unbeatable. All right. A lot of other games going on today. Let's talk about the Royals and Phillies. Walker Buehler. We know what he did in the postseason last year for the Dodgers. He was a disaster. One of the things that went bad for the Red Sox this year. Awful in Boston. Making his first start now for Philly. Philly 2 games behind Milwaukee for the best record in Major League Baseball after that sweep of the Mets, trying to get that number 1 seed. They'll face Michael Lorenzen and the Royals, who were smarting after just getting beat up by the Guardians, losing 3 out of 4. What do you make in this game?
Yeah, I mean, it would be Phillies or pass, but I can't get behind Buehler. So I'm looking at the total here. Lorenzen, last 5 starts, 24 2/3. He's given up 30 hits, 13 earned runs, 4 home runs. Phillies hit him pretty good, 271. He's got a terrible road ERA, 5.22, 3-5 on the road. Kansas City doesn't hit much, but I don't think it's going to take much to get some runs off of Buehler. I mean, he in his last 5 appearances in the majors, 22 innings pitched, 11 earned runs, 4 home runs, and a whopping 14 walks. He made a rehab or whatever you want to call it, minor league outing this past week. And the first batter of the game hits an opposite field home run. So this guy just does not have the stuff. He has the grit. He wants to win, and he's a gamer. And he did pitch great in the playoffs. And he wanted to win more than anything in Boston. You could tell he was getting real aggravated, fired up. He wanted to be part of the winning team. I just don't think he has it anymore. And for a light hitting team like the Royals, I expect them to get a few runs off Buehler, and I expect the Phillies to get a bunch of runs off Lorenzen, who just hasn't had it all year. So I played over 9 minus 120. That was the first play I made today. So over 9 in the Phillies Royals game, minus 120.
Yeah. All right. Let's take it to the next game. I'm with you there too. I think there'll be a decent amount of runs scored in that game. The Phillies might go over by themselves on that one. It wouldn't shock me. Orioles and Blue Jays. Trevor Rogers and Chris Bassett. In what's been a miserable season for the Orioles, Trevor Rogers has been quite a story, Chris. He's been great for Baltimore down the stretch.
Yeah, if he pitched like he pitched last year, Orioles might have had a little bit more success. But the Orioles, for a miserable season, one of the hottest teams in baseball, 8-2 the last 10. And as you mentioned, Rogers 8-2 on the year, 1.51 ERA. On the roads, just as good, 5-1, 1.81. Opponents only hitting 231 against him, 6 for 26. And I'd like to back the Orioles here. It's just tough to back, to go against the Blue Jays, especially at home. They're just such a good home team, 47-25. But it would be Orioles or pass. They're hot. Big emotional 2-game. They won the series against the Astros. Some close games in there. Yesterday, Gausman pitched unbelievable. He was hitting all his spots, first pitch strikes. Astros hit a few balls hard. There was some nice fielding plays by the Jays, but a dominant performance by Gausman. And the Blue Jays look like they're going to saunter away with this division. But we'll see. The Orioles are hot, and I was watching the Orioles game yesterday. I had them versus the Pirates all three games. The announcers were really talking about the potential for the Orioles to be a big-time spoiler, playing the Yankees, playing the Jays, playing the Red Sox down the stretch. So I think the team is in for it. You mentioned lousy teams, how they're going to react against some of these teams down the stretch. And I think this Orioles team is one that's going to try to play spoiler as best they can, and perfect opportunity with Rogers tonight. It would have to be Orioles or pass. It's just tough to bet against the Blue Jays at home. They seem to win most of the games there. And even when they're losing, they seem to always come back. Even though they didn't get the win on Wednesday night, they came back, tied it, ended up losing 3-2. But they just always seem to come back in these late innings. They've been a great team all year. Can't take anything away from the Jays.
Tigers and Marlins. Tarek Skubal, Sandy Alcantara. He's had a bad season overall. Skubal's, cruising his way now to the Cy Young Award. You like the under in this one?
Yeah, Skubal, we talked about that start against the A's a few weeks back when he gave up the grand slam, but that was only one earned run. And that's his only earned run in his last 4 starts, 27 2/3, only 16 hits, 1 earned run. And that was the one where there was an error involved, and the next pitch was a grand slam, was a walk or something. So he gave up 6 runs in that game, but he's only given up 1 earned run his last 27 2/3 innings. He's been lights out. And, hey, look at this. Alcantara's last 33 innings pitched, only 21 hits, only 9 earned runs, 2.45 ERA. Tigers' bats aren't the same on the road as they are at home. So I think this could just be one of those games, just not much going on. Skubal holds the, Miami bats in check. And I know it's a low total, not my biggest bet, but I went under 7, minus 120 in this game with the Tigers and the Marlins.
This next game is one of the wildest stories in Major League Baseball. Cardinals, Brewers, Andre Palante and Quinn Priester. We talked about this, I think, last Friday, I believe, and it continued. Quinn Priester, 18 straight starts that his team has won, or is it 16? 5, 10, 15,
no,
17.
It's 17, and then one game they, for some weird reason, they used an opener, and he came in the second inning. So his last 18 appearances, 17 starts. The Brewers are 18-0.
It's just crazy, and he's pitched great. He had that one bad start against the Mets where they still won, but he gave up 6 runs in 4 1/3. Outside of that, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs since the 4th of July. The guy's been one of the biggest, shocking, surprise, amazing stories of the year. And their record with him on the mound is just crazy.
Yeah, it's a sensational year for a guy that we mentioned that the Red Sox had in their organization and gave up on. And 12-2, 3.25, 6-1 at home. This Brewers team, they've lost 3 in a row, and that was to Texas. That was a little bit of a tough spot. They were up, 8 games in the division. Now it's down to 5.5 again. But they're back at home, sweet home, 46-26, 20 games over 500. St. Louis on a weird road trip, was out in Seattle, got walked off the other night in a long 13-inning game. And they're turning to Palante, who's just not a good pitcher, 6-13, 5.28 ERA, 4.91 on the road, 2-7 on the road. Cardinals have lost 3 in a row. They're 10 under 500 on the road as well. So this is a Brewers team where I'm going to look to bet on. I'm going to probably put them in a parlay with maybe another team down the road. We'll get to the game. Don't want to lay the big number because eventually this guy Priester is not going to get the win, but I'm going to use them in a parlay just because St. Louis is going the opposite direction and the Brewers are finally home. I think they right the ship after the 3-game losing streak in Texas.
All right, let's hit the rest of the games. In Washington, Pirates, Nats. This is a 6:45 start. Obviously, both these teams having miserable seasons. Pirates 19 games under 500. The Nationals 26 games under 500. The Pirates had been playing better for a while, but now they've dropped 6 in a row, and they haven't scored more than during this 6-game losing streak. They've scored a total of 10 runs against the Brewers and the Orioles. So they come into this game, Washington. Mitch Keller and Brad Lord. Anything for you here, Chris?
I want to keep fading the Pirates because I was on the Orioles the last 3 days, and I want to get to the window with Washington, but Lord he's just not a good pitcher. And he pitched all right last time out, 5 2/3, only gave up 2 hits and 1 earned run. But the previous 6 before that, 29 1/3, 37 hits. ERA above 7. So it's just probably a stay away game. And Washington doesn't play well at home, 29-42. Pittsburgh is 28 games under 500 on the road, 22-50.
It's amazing.
And when you watch these Pirates games, if you have the other side, even though the Pirates get a guy on base, a leadoff double or a single, and the guy steals second, there's no threat for them to score. So you don't even have to worry. It's like the other night I had the Orioles. It was the Skeens game. The Pirates only had 1 hit. Somehow they had 1 run. I think they had a solo home run. But they just did nothing the rest of the game, and they wasted another Skeens start. So I'd be on Washington or nothing just because the Pirates can't do much for much of offense, and they're terrible on the road. But I don't really want to back Lord, so I'm just going to stay away from this game.
All right, sign up for the newsletter at bettingweeklystudios.com for weekly betting tips. If you like what you hear on their shows, then sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Let's talk about the White Sox and the Guardians. White Sox who set the record for the worst record in the history of baseball last year. This year, they might not even lose 100 games. They have, 15 games left. They just need, 6 wins? Can they go 6-9? I bet they do it. I'm saying the White Sox go 6-9 and avoid 100 losses. What say you?
Well, we'll see. The problem is their road splits. They just can't seem to win on the road. I know they got 3 against Minnesota, but Minnesota is kind of like a minor league team at the moment. But hey, the White Sox are the hottest team in baseball. They lead the most wins in September. So I know you have that 300-1 ticket on the White Sox for most wins in September. So, who has that? I'm not sure many people do, but they're tied with the Orioles and the Phillies for most wins in September with 8. The problem is they have Perez pitching tonight. He's only pitched 45 innings of the year, 31 hits, 16 earned runs, 5.3 ERA on the road. So not too keen on backing him. BB, last start, solid, 6 2/3, 6 hits, only 2 earned runs. Before that, not so great. So this is a tough game. I have the whatever they call it, the Cleveland team for most wins in September too. They have 7 wins, tied with the Nats, and then the Giants have 6. So Cleveland's been playing a lot better lately. 7 out of the last 7-3 the last 10. Pretty good at home, 38-34. It'd be Cleveland or nothing for me tonight. I can't back Perez, and the White Sox road record 25-47 is tough to swallow. It's tough to bet. It's tough to bet the White Sox on the road.
Yeah, Guardians is still, in the playoff mix a little bit. They're fighting for their lives. Tanner Bybee's been a huge disappointment this season. He talked about his last start where he did pitch well, but he's been so inconsistent. He seems to get off to a good start every game, and then he has one inning where he blows up. So I just can't trust him at all right now. To me, this game is a stay away. The Guardians are two. Their offense stinks, but I certainly don't want to bet on the White Sox. All right, the Astros and the Braves, 7:15 Eastern. We got a guy, Jaden Murray, making his first major league start. He's come out of the pen in two appearances so far, no runs in 2 1/3. He'll get the start in this one. His opponent, Hurston Waldrep, has been great for the Braves. I mean, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs, and he's been fantastic. What's been a miserable season, the developments of him and Drake Baldwin have to have the Braves excited.
Yeah, I like the Braves a little bit here. I mean, Murray, we're not sure we're going to get. He's only had 2 appearances. He's never started a game, so it's probably an opener type of thing, which isn't a good sign for a team that just had to play an extra inning game and have a bunch of relievers through the Blue Jays series. Tough travel from Toronto. You got to come down to Atlanta. They had the day off. Atlanta not great at home. Obviously, a dismal season. But to your point, Waldrep, 40 2/3 innings pitched, only 27 hits, only 6 earned runs. So this guy's been lights out. And now look at this. Houston's tied with Seattle for first place. So a little bit of pressure for this Astro team, who I thought all year kind of overachieved. There's a realistic possibility that the team that's led first place all year is going to fall out of it and not even make the playoffs with Texas and Seattle right there. So I'm going to play a little bet on the Braves here. Small favorites, bet big pitching advantage. You figure this kid's going to give you 5-6 innings. Should be able to get to Murray or whoever's going to be coming in after him because you can't expect him to go long. And I like the Braves to hang around at home today. And Astros are real, and they're in big trouble here. They're tied for first, and look out, Texas is only 1.5 behind them for the wild card.
Let's talk about the worst team in baseball, the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies actually played okay right after the All-Star break. They were playing a lot better, but since August 20th, they are 3-17. So they've lost 17 of their last 20. Including 6 in a row. They start a series they continue their series with San Diego. They've scored a total of 4 runs in their last 5 games. You can't really be any worse than the Rockies are. But obviously, when you're playing against the Rockies these days, the number's going to be so big that it's I guess impossible to bet against them. I mean, the Padres are minus 315. You could take them on the run line at minus 124. Would you consider that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna jump in. The Padres, listen, for as bad as the Rockies are hitting lately, the Padres can't hit either. They even last night it was like a struggle. They had 2 runs. And, they finally pull away in the game, but Gordon been a disaster for the Rockies as well, though. 9.33 ERA on the road, 4 starts, 18 innings pitched, 19 earned runs. So not a guy you really want to back on the road. But Sears isn't any bargain either. He gives up a bunch of runs, but the Rockies don't hit. I mean, the Padres should win this game. I'm not going to lay 300 because they just can't hit. But to your point, the Rockies 1-9 in the last 10, loses a 6 in a row. Not showing much life since that. They had the lead, even though they were being no hit the other night versus the Dodgers. They somehow had the lead. Since then, they've showed 0 life, and like you said, they haven't scored. It's tough to back either one of these teams with, based on the price. Who the heck wants to bet the Rockies? Yeah. They don't score and they can't pitch. But the Padres can't really hit that much, and you don't want to lay 300. So it's just a stay away game. I'm hoping the Padres get the win and the Giants can take care of business with the Dodgers, so we can eke one game closer.
Final game, Apple TV, 10:10 p.m. Angels and the Mariners. As we talked about, the Mariners moved into a tie with the Astros. Did you know, Chris, that this is the latest into the season that the Mariners have been in first place since 2001, when that team won 116 games and then lost to the Evil Empire in the playoffs? I mean, it's been 24 years since they've been in first place this late. That's hard to believe. It's a favorable matchup here against the Angels. You think?
Yeah, well, it took a 6-game winning streak for them to get there, and you got to like them tonight. I'm going to play a Brewers Mariners parlay. Kikuchi has been atrocious on the road, 1-8 with a 5.45 ERA. They hit him really well, 265. He's given up 8 home runs to this lineup, including 3 to Suarez. Castillo, 2.79 ERA at home. Although he hasn't pitched great of late, I still like the Mariners. They're on a great roll here. Angels, 8 games under 500 on the road. Nothing to like about their situation right now. They're just kind of playing out the string. So I'm going to be on a Seattle and Brewers parlay. Oh, hey, Bull, there is one more game. There's the lowly A's game at Sacramento.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, there you go. So, all right, so Sacramento. Okay, I missed that game somehow. We got. The Reds and the A's. Brady Singer and JT Ginn.
Yeah, the only reason I bring it up is that Singer, he had high hopes when he was on the Royals. He was supposed to be an ace type of pitcher. Start of the year really rough, but the last 5 starts he's pitched great. 30 innings pitched, only 6 earned runs, 19 hits, so 1.8 ERA. So he's been pitching great, and I'm not sure why the A's are favorite tonight. Ginn has been terrible. 6.64 ERA, 23 earned runs his last 32 innings. So I'm not sure why the A's are favored. The Reds have the day off. They've got 2 in a row from the Padres. I think they're feeling it. They're only 2 back. They got, they're gonna know, ahead of time if the Mets won or not, and then right across town you got Dodgers Giants. So this is a big opportunity for the Reds playing an A's team. It's not hitting well, not pitching well. I really think it's a good opportunity to get the Reds at a plus price. I'm going to be on the Reds tonight.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. The Reds have won 7 of the last 8 games that he started too, and he's gone at least 6 in all but one of those games. And the one game he lost, and it was against the Pirates. That's his worst start of all teams, which is just weird. All right, thanks to everybody for joining us today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Chris and Alex for producing today. We appreciate it as always. Coming up at 3:00 Eastern, it'll be Betting Weekly Fast Break. Coming up at 5:00 Eastern, Betting Weekly The Edge. Doug Kazarian and Dustin Fox will join me as we give you our props and parlays for NFL games this weekend. You got one NFL pick you have handy already there, Chris? Before we go,
my God, I liked Miami last week. That was a disaster. And then I mentioned how I had Baltimore. So some scary number. Can you go up against the Colts again? It feels kind of weird. I think the look ahead line for this game was like Denver -5, and now all of a sudden Circa is throwing up a pick in this game. I don't know. That's a lot of respect for Indy. Maybe we go back to the well and try to beat Indy again with Denver at a pick.
All right, there you go. Chris, have a good weekend. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next time on Betting Weekly Hardball. See you, everybody.